Untitled here, and today we've got a rating year one-man Doomstack video covering Volkmar the Grim. Now I think we've covered just about all of the one-man Doomstacks at this point, but I haven't yet covered Volkmar the Grim. And it's been a while since we've covered one, largely because we covered them all and nobody's been sending them in. But today I got an email with Volkmar the Grim, and I've had a bit of a look at it, and there's a possibility here. Now, we're not up against a huge amount of force here, but I think that's largely because the AI just completely underestimate just how strong he is. Like, in auto-resolve, we actually win here. So I poked around to see if there was some way to get them to throw more force at us, and they just refused to. Alright, so let's have a look at, in terms of his stats, what is making him a one-man Doomstack. So he's got 30% ward save. If we ever look at his equipment, that's probably a good place to start. He's got Troll Cleaver, which isn't providing him any resistances. Trickster's Helm, which the Armor of Destiny would actually be better because it provides 10% ward save and 5% physical resistance. But I had a look in his items, he just doesn't have it. And you can go through an entire campaign and not get it. But that is one way you could make it better. Jade Griffin, 20% ward save. You don't want to replace that. Van Horseman Speculum. I had a look at his items, couldn't see anything better for the situation, and it does provide a really good debuff and provides him with some extra melee defense, which he needs because melee defense is kind of his weak point there. You want to be hit as less as often. I had a look at what traits he's got. He's got all the good ones that you want, like Throt, Isabella, Wurzag, but since we really need some melee defense, he didn't get Krokgar, or I don't expect him to get Nakai, but an extra 20 melee defense would have made a big difference. Alright, so we've got the 30% ward save there. That's from the items, from his equipment. He's got 25% physical resistance, 10% of it from Wurzag's trait, and 15% because he's the Elector Count of Ostermark, I believe. So overall, that leaves him with 55% physical resistance, but there's ways to increase it further. His magic resistance is 75% plus, yeah, so it's at max magic resistance. His missile resistance is pretty much maximum. Alright, so in order to get him to his maximum physical resistance, here's what needs to happen. We've got Strength of the Penitent. So in order for this to activate, he needs to be losing in melee combat, which in a case like this, he probably will be, at least as far as what the game is concerned, so he'll probably get that extra 15% physical resistance. So with that, from 55 to 70% with that, then he's got this. We've got Faith Bastion. That's got a 60-second cooldown and lasts for 22 seconds, 20% damage resistance, right? Which is ward save. CA made it really confusing with calling some things ward save and some things damage resistance, but damage resistance is ward save, right? So that gets you to 90% physical resistance, assuming that this is active as well. Now, that only lasts for 22 seconds, right? But then you've also got this one here. Now, this is, you have to alternate them. So this one also does 20% damage resistance, but it lasts for 50 seconds and has a 20-second cooldown. So the duration for this one lasts almost as long as the cooldown of this one, and the duration of this one lasts for as long as the cooldown of this one. So you can basically have either of them active almost 100% of the time. And then there's just the other ones over there. So anyway, let's just jump in and see how he goes against this. I don't think we need that extra leadership, but yeah, it's not going to matter. He's on his War Altar of Sigmar that gives him Unbreakable. Now, you could put him on foot if you make him Unbreakable by defeating what's his name? Gotrek. But I think you miss the banishment skills, because obviously making him smaller will mean that he'll just take fewer hits. When he's on foot, he's really hard to hit. And then the battle will take a bit longer, but you get longer to use your special abilities, because he's not a spellcaster. The Nordland Rudefang kind of acts like a Mortis engine, sort of, like 1/4 of the time. So that is another way you could dish out more damage quicker. But, you know, Grand Soulfire, that can do a ton of damage. He doesn't have Strider, so we should keep him out of the forest. It's not particularly missile heavy. Alright, it's on very hard battle difficulty. Yep. Okay. Let's just jump in here and see how he goes. We got plenty of health to regen. So he should be regenning at a rate of 12 hit points per second. So yeah, we don't need health potions or anything like that. Huge amount of regen. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the Strength of the Penitent. So, even without those abilities active, we should still have almost maximum resistance, because 55... Yeah, we're at like 85% missile resistance. Alright, yep, Strength of the Penitent straight away active, so that's good. And that means we're... Yep, okay. Alright, well, we gotta remember to do this. I gotta remember to do that. So as soon as that's done active, we pop down this. Because at the moment, yeah, we're pretty much at our maximum ward save. Now, while that's green, he's not going to be recovering his Strength of the Penitent. Okay. But the artillery is actually going to help us here. Man, he can cast his abilities so often. And look at that, we're at full health. So far, we've taken about 500 damage. Which, considering going up against Grail Guardians, that's pretty good. Just waiting for more of them to show up before I do this. It's not great against cavalry. So, kills-wise, he's gotten a few in there so far. Just let him do his thing. So yeah, we're pretty much permanently at 50% ward save. But yeah, the Strength of the Penitent's not recharging because he's not losing. If I make him do a move order, he might start losing. No. Well, if he's winning, he's winning. He's going up against Grail Guardian, so fair enough. And once again, the usual sort of one-man Doomstack problem. Oh, you know, that's one way you get him to maximum resistance, is to Sword of Cain. But you guys have made it very clear that you don't like Sword of Cain one-man Doomstacks. I think unless the faction is, like, mitigated, it, like, doesn't have any problems with it. Like the Beastmen, for example. Yeah, they're going around looking for all of our units. I got these banishments, but we need to get into big blobs with them. Grail Guardians are almost gone. Yeah, those trebuchets are actually really working against them. And that was a miss there, but that's okay. Let's get another one in a few seconds. Not really worried about trying to stop the archers shooting at us. We have so far taken 1,000 damage. Out of a... How much health and potential do we have? 17,000. So yeah, this one runs out just in time for us to activate that. And then while that runs out, that one's active again. But you gotta stay on top of it. I guess I could do this. Yeah, like, if every arrow is probably doing like a tiny bit of damage, so it would be good to get rid of them. Since I can't really get at them very well. And they were blobbed up a bit there. Joe, it's better than 90% missile resistance, 100% by getting rid of their units. That's it, got a big cluster, already got 246 kills, we can do better than this. But yeah, the biggest problem with one-man Doomstacks is that the AI just doesn't want to send its entire force at us, so area of effect abilities is kind of difficult to do. And so the longer the battle goes on, well, the larger the armies, the longer the battle will go on. Which can make them ultimately a bit boring. But yeah, they just can't hurt him until his health regen runs out. Which at the moment he's lost about 1,800. So far, we've killed about 500 of their health. I think most of the damage is being done by archers. If we have a look at how much damage they're doing... no, it's next to nothing. Hang on, how much armor piercing do they have? Ooh, he might actually be able to bypass it. Oh, no, he doesn't have 200 armor. Right. Mounts of Power still says we don't stand a chance, but they're just not able to dish out any damage. Yeah, so having a look at this one here. Yeah, okay, going after their archers was not really worth anything. They're just not doing any damage to us. Maybe the trebuchets are? Let me have a look. Nope. Nope. Nope, they don't want to come after us. Alright, I guess we can speed it up now. I don't know, what was doing damage to us? Was it just the Grail Guardians when they were still alive? Were they the ones doing damage? Nope, they just don't want to engage with us. No, I've got another, whoops. Another banishment, but I wanted to save it for, you know, actual good attack, but I don't think we're going to get one. And this ability here, this can do a ton of damage to cavalry. You can see that absolutely wrecked it. And the thing is, they're moving around erratically. I just don't think I'll get a good hit off. Balance of power's starting to improve. They've lost about half their forces. A little bit less than that. Don't even really need this. We're just not taking... Oh no, he's just regenerating so fast that it just looks like we're not taking any damage. But he's lost half his regen so far. That's just his regen. They haven't even started doing his like main health. It seems like that Strength of the Penitent's never going to activate. Yeah, it's never... He's just always winning in combat. Alright, this looks like it might be okay. Might hit something there. And that's mostly at this point just to speed the battle up a bit. Just to get a few more kills in. And don't forget, if you put him in with a bunch of warrior priests... his Grand Shield of Faith stacks with their Shield of Faith, so you can give him even more ward save that way. But of course, if you want to make a one-man Doom stack, well then, you gotta keep one-man Doom stack. Alright, now they're sending their heroes in at us, but it's not enough. He's not very good at dueling other lords. He's good at tanking and just sitting there and just bombing everything, but he just hasn't been really good at taking out these heroes so far. I'm really not sure if this one was the best choice for his weapon. I think the Nordland Runefang would have been better. Just could have dished out damage faster. Which is important because you kind of want these battles to not take half an hour each. Because that one's probably the best for dishing out damage in an area of effect. Whereas this one here, I guess, sorry, this one is better for taking out Bretonnian lords since they're almost always large. But I think this battle's going to last not much longer. I think it's just about over. I'm just gonna log out of Steam because I keep getting notifications. There we go.
Behold the light of Sigma! Ready for battle! To glory! For the Emperor! By Sigma! Attack! The Empire!
And yeah, not too much tactical depth to it. You just gotta alternate these two abilities just to maximize his sort of level playing field. I mean, we can get him at his max resistance if we do them both at the same time. Because yeah, this one here is not activating. Because he's always winning. Which, on very hard battle difficulty, I'm not used to seeing a melee lord do that. But he is just about out of regen. I think we might just be able to win the battle before he runs out of regen. Ending the battle at, at full strength.
Glory awaits by Sigma!
Oh, that's not going to do anything to a single entity.
Battle ready!
Come on, kill that paladin.
Sigma's will!
I imagine these Grail Knights probably did a number to him. 211 damage, yeah. Well, they do magic damage, so yeah, they're not going to do anything, because he's super buffed up against magic. Ah, damn it. Did them both at the same time, it's alright. This is actually one of the best items for the Empire to get. It's really bloody good. It's a very strong debuff, especially against vampire counts.
Crush them! Very well!
Almost out of regen. Might not end the battle. Yeah, because there's still some Grail Knights there. That's worth a ton of bounce of power. But the bounce of power is almost even. I think we're not going to end the battle at full health. We're going to take... I reckon we'll get down to like about here. Lose about maybe 500-600 of the health. Oh no, there we go. There's the army losses. I was just unsure about when that was kicking in. Oh, is he going to end the battle at full strength? I think he will. Yeah, army losses can be difficult to predict with one-man Doomstacks, with 88 regen remaining. Cool. Well, like I said, it really wasn't the most dangerous of enemies, but you get an idea of how dangerous, I guess, this actually is, especially considering he doesn't have the Sword of Cain. There were some very dangerous anti-large units in there, like Grail Knights and Grail Guardians are very bloody strong. Paladins and Bretonnian Lords are usually anti-large in some way. The Bretonnian infantry is a joke, obviously, but most armies that you're going to go up against are going to be mostly infantry. I would say that if you were using Volkmar the Grim as a one-man Doomstack without using the Sword of Cain, which I don't recommend getting the Sword of Cain with the Empire, you just don't need it. The only faction I can think of that you really shouldn't send him up against would be Lizardmen, because of all their dinosaurs. Their anti-large dinosaurs would probably give him a hard time. He's very good anti-infantry just because of the Grand Soulfire stuff. Even against cavalry is fine, but single entities he would kind of struggle against because he doesn't have enough weapon strength to just beat down on a lot of really tanky high melee defense lords. But yeah, going up against Bretonnia, going up against vampires, dark elves, even high elves you'd have to be a little bit concerned about. Lots of dragons and phoenixes would probably be a big deal, especially because he does flaming damage. So yeah, I probably wouldn't use this against high elves. Norska should be fine, Warriors of Chaos should be fine, other Empire factions fine, Greenskins shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, this would be pretty effective. Oh, they won't have another go at it, do they? Well, there's no point going out again. We know we would beat them. This is weaker than the previous battle. I don't know why it's even saying that they stand a chance this time. But we won't get wiped out with that. I'm just going to withdraw from that because okay, whatever. Just want to showcase all the things that he got. Because I don't think this is a particularly hard one-man Doomstack to make as well. Making it quite good, if you're going to do it. Alright, so Troll Cleaver, that's the... which Electrocount one is that? That's... Yeah, that's Ostermark. But I think it would have been better to give him Crow Feeder, because it does like a flock of doom that lasts 22 seconds in an area, once every 120 seconds. So we could have... I reckon we could have done more damage with that. The reason why he's gone with the Electrocount of Ostermark is for the extra 15% physical resistance, which is definitely good. What else has he got? So yeah, Jade Griffin, definitely going to want that. It doesn't matter what item you've got here, but this is a good one. Other items that you could get are... No, I wouldn't bother with the health potion. At no point were we like even 100 points, or maybe 200 points below our maximum. The Armor of Destiny would have been better for the extra 5% physical resistance, but we didn't need it in this situation here. In terms of the traits, he's got Gore Drench there, so that's helpful. Extra 20% hit points. He beat Rakar, so bonus versus large. Beat Isabella, that's very important. Don't need that, don't need that, don't really need that. Deep Clean is good for defeating Throt. Green Skin is good. Magic Resistance, although probably didn't need it because we were like quite significantly over our resistance, but it's still good. Great Green Killer, that's always needed for one-man Doomstacks. Slayer King Slayer is pretty good. Magic Resistance and Missile Resistance, that's not bad. Hide Striker, that's not doing very much. Like, Armor Piercing Weapon Damage plus 20 isn't a whole lot. And Extra Armor plus 10, it's better than nothing. You could have defeated Gelt for a bit of extra armor, but yeah, I think what would have helped them most was, in addition to this, was taking out Krokgar, which, that's a pretty long way to go just to get 10 extra melee defense. Same thing with Nakai, it's very far away. But yeah, this is a good one. In terms of rating it, I'd say this is not that difficult to do. So, I'd probably rate it like 9 out of 10, just because of how convenient it is, and because Volkmar has kind of only meme like armies anyway, because he boosts the most meme units in your roster, like the Flagellants and the Free Company Militia. So giving him like a serious army doesn't really make sense. Better to do it with somebody else. Or even better still, giving him Warrior Priest Doomstack, that actually works quite well. So I'd say he gets a lot of points for convenience. It's definitely not the strongest one-man Doomstack. He wasn't at his max physical resistance. There's definitely better ones out there, so there's no way I can give him a 10 out of 10. That wasn't enough force anywhere near as much as what some of the other guys dealt with. He probably could have handled about 3 of those kind of armies all at once, that is. So maybe about twice as much force coming at him, I think he still could have beaten, because he didn't lose half his health, so he still could have won, even if they had doubled the amount of troops. But if he went up against a faction with stronger armies, because the AI doesn't really build great Bretonnia armies a lot of the time, sometimes they do. If he went up against like 4 armies of High Elves, there's no way he would win. Especially if it's late game armies. Anyway, so 9 out of 10 for Volkmar the Grim. I think the guy did a really good job building this. Just needed the Armor of Destiny, which, you know, you can go through an entire campaign and not get it, so I can't really hold too much against him there, and it did do the job. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.